We now need to create a hierarchy of pegs. What we've effectively done is split the chair into two sections. Say the chair might break and you might want, say, I don't know, a leg that's fallen on the floor here. This will allow you to reset the leg back into its normal pose. Hello and welcome back everyone. As we can see to the right, I've added, if I select this, I've added literally a deformer to every single part of the chair. This probably won't be necessary when working on many productions, like props will usually just need to be interacted with by a character. So they're not going to need a deformer on every single part. This is more of an example. If I select this part here, we can see, we can get this sort of very much this hose pipe style animation just by moving a lot of these limbs and sections. Again, this might not be necessary for every production. This is just sort of an example to get you guys to grips with how to rig props or just learning Toon Boom in general. I'm gonna hide these deformers now. Using the stage peg that we created from last episode, if we select this and come towards the timeline, what we will want to do is we want to add a keyframe to just this one first pose here. About a keyframe, you can either press this little plus button down here where it says insert keyframe, or you can press the hotkey F6. Using the hotkeys 9 and 0, you can open and close the timeline. Now, if we look at the timeline, we can see we've added a keyframe to a lot of the different pegs, and that's simply because we've selected the stage peg and inserted a keyframe. So that will insert a keyframe to every section or every peg of the chair. We can add these things called backdrops to our node view. Backdrops allow you to move and organize your rig. To add a backdrop, if you go into your node view and select this little menu option down here, if you go into the insert section and click backdrop, you can see it adds this sort of square window to the back, and we can drag and move everything that comes within this window. We can even go through the settings and change the color of the backdrop. I don't know if you want green, and insert a name. With the backdrop added, we can now move the stage peg out of the rig, because this, again, the stage peg will be used for sort of positioning the entire prop when inserting it into a scene or project. The backdrop selected, we can now group this entire rig. Using the hotkey Control and G, the entire thing will disappear. It hasn't actually disappeared, it's been moved into this little group here. You can choose to name this group, and then we'll still have the stage peg on the outside. Usually when working on any rigs, you would kind of name every single part of it in a certain manner. Again, it will vary on what production you're working on. For this series, I haven't really named any of the drawings because, again, this is more of an example, but I hope you get a rough idea of what I'm trying to do. If we look into the group, we can now see the chair has got these little input and output ports. So here's the output here, and here's the input. These will basically connect anything that's within inside this group to the outside of the group, if that makes sense. So you can see we've got this stage peg over here, which connects to the master peg up here. But I just got a notification that my graphics driver needs to be updated. Oh boy. With our rig finally packaged, we can now move on to saving it as a template. To do this, you'll want to open up your library, which should be next to your tool properties over here. With this done, we can now use either the default Harmony Premium library, or you can add your own. I prefer to add my own libraries, as it means I know exactly where I've saved my folders and templates. If you want to add a library, you simply right click and click open library. I'm going to add my chosen library here, and once added, you'll notice a little lock appears on the folder. If you want to view, access, or import any of your templates, if you right click on this, you can click the option right to modify. This will allow you to open the file. Now, this is an empty file at the moment because I haven't saved any templates. To save templates, if you drag and select what you want to save, so I just want the chair group and the peg. If you hit Control Copy and then the Control V option here, you will then get an option to name your template. So I'm going to name this just Chair 01, for example. Now, once I click OK, it will now actually save this folder within your chosen template folder. With this done, we can now import this template from any scene or any new Toon Boom project you have open. All you need to do is open up this library file that you've saved your template in. To add the template into your Toon Boom file, you simply drag and drop it within the node view. So here we can see I've got another group of the chair. If I hook this up to the composite down here and remove this, you can see we've got the exact same chair, and even if I go inside the group, everything will be more or less the same. Whenever you do import your templates into new Toon Boom files or projects, it will also import the scene palettes library. You want to make sure your scene palettes are fairly organized. If you've got a load of different scene palettes, it will usually import them all, so try and keep your scene palettes tidy if possible. You'll also notice when you import it, it'll also add the keyframe that you've added. Hopefully this rigging series has helped you learn a bit more about either Toon Boom Harmony, how to rig, or just how to use the interface in general. I'm not gonna quite cover animation just yet, as that's a whole other topic in itself. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series, and I look forward to making more content in the future.